Yeah, Cam did a great job on this music. I love this. I wish it was like a full song. I did not download properly. Just quickly sharing this all over the internets, and then we'll begin. So in the meantime, get to jam to Cam's song. He calls this 80s Things, and I absolutely love it. I can't believe he wrote this for me. It was when he knew I was going to Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and he wanted to like create a retro vibe of the 80s, and he just nailed it. Oh, and I'm running out of time. I'm gonna have to start the song again. Just taking my time, doing a little social sharing. We're gonna start the stream soon. Those of you who are already here, how do I sound? How is my audio? I'm just going to resume the music while I wait for your response. Now I'm posting it Small YouTubers Boost. This is the big one. We should probably bring in a bit of a crowd. I'm going to set this as an announcement. I'm even going to go in and pin it just for the duration of the broadcast, so people can get the help they need, hopefully. There we go. One or two more places, and then we'll be good to go. Okay. I could listen to Cam's music all day, but who's got the time? Hey everybody, Ray here. Just getting all set up. Audio's okay, thank you Elvis. I appreciate that. This is at least the second time Elvis has helped me with the sound check, so that's great. So what am I going to be doing today? I'm going to be showing you some TubeBuddy stuff live and on the internet. So this is going to be a live tutorial where the thing about TubeBuddy is that everybody knows that it's good for tag suggestions, but they don't seem to know all the other great stuff that it does, and it does a lot of great stuff. So what I'm going to show you today is how you can use TubeBuddy to spy on your competition, see what the competition is up to. So yeah, I recently somebody kind of sat me down, made me watch like an hour and a half of like popular videos in my niche, my travel niche, and it was a little rough. I don't generally check out a whole lot of the competition because I don't want to be overly influenced by what they're doing. I want to do my own thing. I want to make it for me. I don't like thinking of it as a competition. And honestly, I thought that I would be just like feel super inferior based on, like, you know, their attractiveness, their equipment, their technical prowess, their talent, their on-screen presence, the writing, like maybe they'd have drone shots and stuff that I just don't have, can't afford, you know, that their editing would blow my mind. And so I thought that it would make me feel, well, small. And then watching it, it wasn't the effect that I thought it would have at all. It was like, why is this doing so well? You know, they clearly filmed it like on their phone. They barely edited it. They didn't show much. They provided very little information or wrong information, and things like that. And so it was not what I expected. And so it kind of had a dual effect. Part of me is like, well, I'd like to think that I do decent editing and great, some decent visuals and stuff. Like, look at that banner, Vacation Impossible, that banner of the glacier. I took that picture on my phone. So I'm like, I've got some of these things, and that like these videos are doing super well. So I'm thinking, I was thinking, hey, I'm going to do a little bit more research about what the competition in my niche is doing, and I'm going to use TubeBuddy to do it. And I thought, hey, you know what? Let's make this a live tutorial. So that's what we're going to do. And so my goal is I'm going to do like 17 to 22 minutes worth of live tutorial here. I'll still be keeping an eye on chat here and there as I go. And then we'll just see where this thing takes us. All right, so I'm going to start the clock here. So yeah, basically, YouTubers, we all have our niches, and some have a very broad niche, some don't really necessarily have a very specific niche, but I think it helps to understand what the competition is doing from a technical standpoint. How are they tagging their videos? What titles are they using? What kind of thumbnails are working for them? And then you can use that to inspire your ideas, to understand what's happening in the ecosphere of your niche, and then use that to be more successful. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm about to put the kettle on and notice I went live. This is going to be a relatively short one. We're looking at about 20 minutes. So, yeah, I figured that one of the best ways to do this is just I'm sharing my browser here with you. So I've got TubeBuddy, the legend version of TubeBuddy installed as a browser plugin, and I'm going to go check out some of my competition. And I'll bring you guys along the journey, answer your questions as we go, and hopefully show you how, you can do something similar in your own niche to just sort of understand what's working and what's not out there in the ecosphere. And so that's sort of the plan. You're on mobile. Cool. This should hopefully, you might not play the home game right now. Something's different about you. Is it the beard? Yeah, it might be. I went on a 17-day road trip and grew out the beard, and people on the internet were very happy with it. And so were a lot of friends and family. I'm still on the fence about the beard. I don't know if I want to keep it. And it looks like I'm going to be dressing up as some kind of superhero for Halloween. And most of the superheroes that have been suggested so far don't have beards, so I'm going to use Halloween as an excuse to shave it off. We'll go to your PC at home. That's cool. And also after this tutorial, something like 20 to 40 minutes after I've concluded the live stream, it'll be viewable for rewatching on YouTube. You can rewatch it as many times as you want. Pause, go back in case I go a little too fast for you. You'll have that resource available. So anyways, that's sort of the idea, and so let's just dive in. So my primary channel is Vacation Impossible. We do travel stuff, and since 2013, I've been obsessed with cruises, particularly Carnival cruises. And so let's go take a look at what my competition is doing in the space of Carnival cruises. So you might, when searching, it's a good idea to do incognito, but because I'm using my browser and everything with my browser plugin for TubeBuddy, I'm just going to stay logged in as myself. So I am aware that ideally incognito is better for search results, but this is just a light touch. It's not a huge deep dive. So that's something that we're going to do. If you don't know about TubeBuddy, it is a website, mobile app, and I think most importantly, browser plugin. And the browser plugin adds a bunch of functionality to your desktop web browser that you can really use to dive in and see kind of what the competition's doing and how they're doing things. So let's go right in. I'm going to go to my browser, and I'm just going to search Carnival Cruise and see what comes up. It's a very popular search term. So here we go. You'll notice that on the right-hand side, I have TubeBuddy, and again, there's an affiliate link down below if you want to go and install it. Even the free version gives you a lot of what you're going to see here. You see that there's the related searches and the most used tags. The free version will give you like 2 or 3 of those instead of this list that I have. Under most used tags, you see this is a giant laundry list that goes on and on and on and on and on and on forever because I went whole hog legend. I don't know that most YouTubers need legend. I think pro or star is pretty good for most of you. But I was just so in love with the tool, I went whole hog, and also I want to be able to tell you guys everything that I can about what I think is the most important tool for YouTubers. There's other ones out there. There's, Talency and ViralStat and different things, and they have their their space and the things that they do. But for me, TubeBuddy is probably the biggest in terms of most functions. 31 free tools in the free version. Video's not sponsored, but if you do decide to get the paid version, join the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Small YouTubers Boost. We've got the URL up here in the live stream. Check the announcements area, and there's a discount code that'll save you 20%. So that having been said, one of the things that TubeBuddy's giving me here in my browser plugin is the keyword score, and it actually tells me that this is a poor keyword to go after. And it shows you that the search volumes are wicked high, well into excellent. There are 13 million searches on this term every month, which sounds great, right? The problem is it's super competitive. If you see that second color bar there, the indicator's all the way in the red, as far red as you can go, because there's so much competition that it's poor. And so as a result, what TubeBuddy does in this plugin is it combines those two scores and weighs them against each other and says, okay, despite the fact that there's really good search volumes, there's too much competition, so this would be a 10 out of 100, a poor search term to go after. Because it would be very hard to gain any traction, especially for small YouTubers. So we generally go for the longer tail keywords. But that's not what I'm doing here today. What I'm doing here today is I want to see what the competition is up to. So that's what the next couple panels will show. We've got the related searches, and so those are similar searches, and you'll notice that they all begin with Carnival Cruise, but then they start adding words, and that's that longer tail keyword that works better for smaller channels. So Carnival Cruise vlog, tips, tour, Bahamas, etc. Those would be probably better to go after because while the search volume will be smaller, the competition could be substantially smaller, and then maybe you could see that score go from, you know, fair, or go from poor up to fair, maybe even to good or very good, depending on that weighting of search volume versus competition. So those are some related searches to this, and it also, and here, if we wanted to kind of like spy on the competition, what are the most used tags? Carnival Cruise Line, that's the full name of the company, is 42% of the time being used in association with Carnival Cruise. Cruise Radio, that's an interesting one. I happen to know from experience in my genre that that's sort of another channel. Ship Tour, these sorts of things. So this can be really useful for you because maybe you are having a kind of writer's block, a creator's block, if you will, and you're not sure what your next video should be about. Well, maybe if you search a term that is popular for your channel, relevant to your niche, this might inspire you. Oh, a ship tour, what a great idea. I could go and do that. And so a lot of the times people post in the group and they say, what kind of video should I film next? And unfortunately, that's all they say. They don't even tell us what their genre is. So that doesn't give us a lot to go off of. And so that's why, one of the reasons I'm a big advocate of TubeBuddy is partly is it's going to save me a bunch of time and a bunch of people in the group a bunch of time, because this is a tool that allows you to help yourself. Instead of relying on some stranger in Canada, this jackass, who doesn't know your channel. You know your channel, you know your niche and your content, you know what you're capable of better than I ever will. And so use the tool to get that inspiration that way, and then it'll have more value to you than just some random voice on the internet. So anyways, we've got some things here. We've got the official Carnival Cruise Line channel here is the second result. So I'm actually going to go take a look at that. This is the company that runs that cruise line. And using my TubeBuddy browser plugin, you'll see that there is something beneath the banner to the right, and it has the TubeBuddy logo, and it says Channelytics. I actually have a tutorial video about Channelytics in a little bit more depth that I'm going to do today on this channel. You can go watch that later. But I'm just going to click on that to show you kind of some of the information. And this app, this browser plugin recently got an update. So if you've watched my previous live streams, it looks different than this. So this is what it looks like now. And so it gives you some information. It tells me how many views and videos and subscribers the channel has, which in all honesty, that's easily publicly available information. The About page will largely tell you that. So that's not huge value. But it does allow me to, on the right-hand side, compare what they've been doing to what I've been doing. So in this case, it says, you know, you is in the blue and them is in the red. This is currently the subscribers that we've each relatively gotten in the last 30 days. Now, you'll notice a bit of an anomaly here because YouTube recently went to their truncated subscriber counts. So it doesn't give you the full count. It only gives you the first 3 numbers. So in the case of Carnival Cruise Line, 77,100, and then it stops. In the case of my channel, I believe it's 1,640. But for both of us, that last digit isn't there. So I only really know once I've gained every 10 subscribers instead of every individual one, looking at this kind of a display. So that's going to have some anomalies here, but just looking at it, you can see sort of where, you know, where I gained subscribers and how many subscribers they gained over a similar period of time. You can also click this toggle to see how many views we've each been getting respective to each other. So very similarly, you can kind of see how over time, it looks like there was a big dip on October 4th. They were getting fewer views on October 4th than they were, say, on October 2nd. So if my channel had a corresponding dip in views, then maybe it's telling me something about my niche and my genre. Like, maybe I'm beating myself up. Man, my views dropped off. What have I done? Should I quit YouTube? What am I doing? That can be very demotivating. But this can give you some important context so that maybe there's something going on genre or niche wide. If it's hitting the big boys and you're feeling it too, but maybe that means it's not about you. It wasn't something you did. So for example, maybe in early October, people just aren't thinking about traveling or specifically cruising for whatever reason. Maybe they've got Halloween on the mind and they're all trying to figure out what their costumes are instead of researching their next vacation. And so this can help you identify industry trends so that maybe you're not beating yourself up too much about it. And you can kind of, like you see, compare yourself to your competition. So they got 224,000 views over the last 30 days. I only got 14,000 views. Okay. And also, this I think is a very important metric. And if you've watched my live streams where I do channel reviews, I look at this because when you see big spikes or dips in views and subscriber counts, you often, not always, often see a correlation in videos posted. So let's go take a look. So it's interesting that, for one thing, I can see how they're uploading videos. So for example, on September 7th, they uploaded 8. And on September 26th, they uploaded 5. Whereas you'll notice that I never upload more than 1 per day. But they also have these long stretches with no videos being uploaded. So, okay, that tells me something, but it's interesting. So they uploaded, like I said, 8 videos on the 7th and 5 videos on the 26th. Now let's see if there's a corresponding view spike on the 7th and the 25th. Let's remember those numbers. So on the 7th, not really. But around the 26th, the day after they uploaded 5 more videos, they did get a spike in views. That can be useful information. So you can see that associational relationship. Subscribers. And again, this is a little janky just because of the new truncation of the subscriber count. I'm not seeing a direct correlation here, but that provides some interesting context. So maybe a new video in this niche prompts a lot of views, but not necessarily subscribers. That provides some useful context. So the other thing that should display here at the bottom is channel tags. So you can see the tags that are channel-wide that are attached to the channel for this channel. However, you see here that there aren't any. And so that's interesting. So Carnival is a giant company, so people will be searching for it. And all the people who cruise on it, a lot of them are going to want to do research beforehand or watch things after. And so they kind of have a built-in audience that way. Us small YouTubers generally don't have that advantage. So we need to use every technological advantage, every little trick, not dirty trick, but trick. It's not even a trick really. We need to use every tool at our disposal to try and find our audience and try and succeed. TubeBuddy is one of those tools. And so I see here that Carnival has gotten 77,000 subscribers and they've never needed to put a channel tag. But if I do put a channel tag, then that gives me a slight technological advantage over them, even though they've got this huge brand recognition. So that's something to consider. So that's that. Let's go take a look at, I'm going to research this term, and I'm going to look at this first video here. This is Carnival Cruise Tips, Tricks, Hacks, and More. So I know quite a few cruise tips and tricks and hacks, or whatever you want to call them, and I've been putting them out as a series of short tip videos, 1 to 2 minutes generally speaking. But I'm noticing that it looks like what these people have done 5 months ago is they took a bunch and put it into one video that runs just under 11 minutes. So another thing I'm noticing here is let's look at the timestamps on all these videos. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 16 minutes, 10 minutes. What's that telling me? That's telling me that to come up in search, there's a lot of different things. There's keywords and other factors, but it looks like watch time is going to be a key one. And I've said this before, anticipated watch time is what I call king metric of all. It's the thing that's really the juice that drives the algorithm right now. And so this is telling me that perhaps I should consider filming longer videos, or, in the case of what I'm seeing here, what if I put all of my tip videos into one compilation? Maybe that would do a little bit better. That's something to think about. It's kind of, this is how looking at your competition can inspire ideas. I'm not advocating copying by any means, but it can be a great source of inspiration and just comprehension and understanding of what is going on in your niche and your genre. So I'm going to click on that video in just a second. I'm going to quickly check in chat, see how things are doing. I find comparing myself against the competition good, but how do you get higher up search results to get a slice of the action? So that is one of the things that is great is using the keyword tools in TubeBuddy can tell you what keywords work well, have high search volume versus competition, and also when you go into upload or edit a video, it will show you how those search terms rank for that video. And one thing you'll notice is that 1 or 2 word search terms don't rank very often for us smaller channels. So going for a longer tail keyword and checking out that it ranks well using the TubeBuddy browser plugin, I have a video on this channel I recommend you watch after this where I talk about how you can use TubeBuddy while uploading. And that covers a little bit about how you can do those things to try and do well. Another tip that I have for trying to rank well for search is what I call keyword alignment. There should be a phrase of like 2 or 3 words minimum that is in your title. It also appears in your description. It also appears as a tag. You also say it out loud in the video and you caption that video so that it's accurate. When you get all those things going together, and if you want to take it next level, meta tag it into the keywords of the file before you upload it, both your MP4, whatever the video format is, and your thumbnail. When you do all those things, and hope that people comment using that term. And if they do, reply to them, but using the term again. When you have all those things going in alignment, the algorithm has a very high confidence that your video is about that search term, and then you're more likely to start seeing yourself come up higher in the search results. So that's just a little tip for that. So let's dive into this video here. I'm going to pause it right away. I'm going to actually turn off my speakers. I'm not here to host anybody else's content, get a content ID match. I'm just doing research. This is research. So I have my Videolytics tool on the right-hand side here. I've actually done 2 videos about the Videolytics tool because there's so much in there here on this channel. So again, I recommend you check that out after this broadcast, and it dives deep into all the little things. But let's just take a light touch here, and this is telling me some incredibly valuable information about this video that came out from some competition. Now they have 4,000 subscribers, I have 1,000, so that's not a huge gulf necessarily to overcome. They don't have a giant built-in audience. If that said 1 million subscribers, that'd be a different thing. But I might be able to, in some degree, be a little competitive here, but I need to know more about what's going on. So there's the summary information here about the total views and comments, likes and, thumbs down. That's all fine. That's generally easily found information. The next section, SEO, tells me that none of the suggested videos on my suggested panel is from this creator. That actually doesn't have a lot of value. That tells me almost nothing because the suggested videos are as much about my browsing history and my watch history as this channel. So I recommend don't worry about that first line under SEO. It's not particularly helpful. If the number's high for yours, that's great, but I wouldn't put too much weight into it because it's so subjective. The next line is useful. The video's tags appear 6 times in the title and description. What was I just talking about? That phrase that should be in title, description, and tags. That's what it's talking about. So in this sense, it's saying that there are 6 tags, and you'll see the tag list down below, that also appear either in the title or the description. And so that is important for getting that video ranked. Now, next we have this video has, click to load, search results. I'm going to click to load to show what that's doing is that's going to see how all of the tags rank. And oh my god, every single tag ranks. This channel, who I know nothing about, knows what they're doing for ranking tags. Oh, no, wait, there's one that doesn't. No, there's two that don't. Carnival, and again, that's a one-word tag. That's not ranking. And first-time cruise tips, for some reason, isn't ranking. Probably because I bet you that phrase, first-time cruise tips, let's take a look. It's not in the title, and I bet you the phrase is not in the description. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so this is telling us what tags are ranking for this video. Carnival Cruise Tips, Carnival Cruise #1. I just searched it, so that makes sense. Now, I have set it so that these results are based on an incognito mode. And again, I have a tutorial video here on this channel that'll show you how to change that setting in TubeBuddy. When you first install it, it defaults to For You. That is of limited value, because obviously you're likely to be searching things in your niche and genre. And so it's going to skew the results. So you want to set it to incognito so that a total stranger to YouTube searching these terms, you would rank in that position. So I highly recommend making that change to TubeBuddy once you've installed it. Again, there is a link below to get the TubeBuddy tool. Next is the social panel that's giving me some useful information too. So I can see that this video has really kind of blown up on Facebook a little bit, relative. I mean, versus a small YouTuber, that's a pretty big 142 likes. That's quite a bit of likes. So that's telling me that this is being shared on Facebook very successfully, whether it's through a personal share, a page, groups, or something else, maybe even ads, I don't know. But it's telling me that this is getting a lot of traffic from Facebook. But I'm also seeing that there are no upvotes on Reddit. So this is not really using Reddit at all. And there's only one mention on Twitter. Now, if let's say, hypothetically, that Twitter number was huge. Let's say there's like 1,000 retweets or some mentions. Well, I'm going to want to know how they did that. And you'll notice that there's this little gray box with an arrow pointing out of it next to the mentions. They also have this for Reddit. I'm just going to click on it here for this Twitter. What it's going to do is it's going to search Twitter for this link, and it'll show me all the tweets that mention this video. And so there you have it. And it just says Carnival Cruise Tips. Thumbs up, boat, thumbs up, smiley face, and then the link. So that's interesting. Had it really blown up, if they had used a particular hashtag, you might want to consider maybe using that as well or something similar. You could look at how they wrote it, how they shared it on Twitter, and that can give you some insight as to how this kind of content would be shared successfully on Twitter. However, I know that there's no retweets, there's no likes on this tweet. It's just shared the one time. But that also tells me that maybe I have an opportunity here. Maybe I can share my content on Reddit and Twitter while they're doing well on Facebook. Or maybe I want to go after Facebook as well, but it informs my options. And also there's the best practices that shows me some of the basic things, 8 things, that they may or may not have done to this video. High resolution thumbnail, end screen. It's been shared on Twitter, liked on Facebook. They've added captions, important to notice. They've pinned and hearted a comment, but they missed one. They haven't added an info card. So if I'm diligent about adding info cards to my videos in a similar space, then I have that small algorithmic competitive advantage. So what can I do if I wanted to make a video that could compete with this, let's say? I would know that it seems to get traction on Facebook, so maybe I should focus sharing it on Facebook. I should probably try Reddit because that looks like it's an untapped audience. I should try sharing it on Twitter, but maybe differently than they did because that didn't get traction. Maybe adding some, maybe a longer tweet, maybe with some hashtags might be worth trying. I'm definitely going to make sure I do the 7 things they did, but I'm also going to add an info card, and I'm probably going to think about my meta tags using this information. So that's 22 minutes. There you go. That's my relatively short tutorial. I didn't get too off topic there, I hope. Just talking about very quickly how you can use this TubeBuddy tool. Even the free version does a lot of the things I was talking about. It shortens those lists, but like this Videolytics tool will look the same, even if it's just the free version. I can't recommend it enough. You know, a lot of the people who ask really so I would say early questions, very basic questions in the Facebook group, a lot of them can often be answered if they just had TubeBuddy. And so I really wish they would just go and install it so that they could answer those simple questions for themselves, and then they could bring the meaty, interesting stuff where they truly need the help of a human being in the group and crowdsource things that way. And so I think it would make the group better if more people were using the tool, free or otherwise. So that's just that. So I'm just going to quickly check in with chat, and then we're going to wrap things up. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Now's a great time to ask, particularly about what I was showing you, investigating competition using your TubeBuddy browser plugin. So let's see here. Naughty Review says hello. Hello. Although when I say it, it sounds like naughty, like Naughty, but it's spelled Noddy. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It's kind of cool. Regarding channel tags, how does that work to get more views? Since there's different two tags in a video. Okay, well everything gets back to the algorithm. And when it comes to the algorithm, we are somewhat guessing. So there's that caveat. No one really knows. If they know, they work at YouTube and Google, and they probably have an ironclad NDA where they would probably lose their firstborn child if they broke it. I'm joking. But yeah, no, that's a really good question. So the idea about the algorithm, whether we're thinking about suggested or search results, or, recommended, things like that, or even those automatic mix playlists they make, all those different things, it's all done through AI and an algorithm. And the algorithm needs metadata. It isn't a person who can form an opinion itself by watching a video. So it can't really parse the text in your thumbnail, for example. So what you write there isn't information it really has access to that I'm aware of. I don't think it OCRs the text in thumbnails yet, maybe one day. But it needs data, and metadata is the easiest for it to get to, so your tags. So if your channel tags are all about video games, and then you post something with some tags that looks like it's about cruising, for example, then there's a disconnect there. And the algorithm... I like to think of it, I think an easy way to conceptualize it is it's all about confidence. How confident is the algorithm in that it knows what your channel is, or what your video is about, and how confident is it that people will watch it for a substantial amount of time? And so let's address that first half of it. That's really the part where I'm talking about these tags. So if your channel tags are a disconnect from your content, let's say you created your channel ages ago, and it was kind of like, when you create like a dating profile or a social media profile, and it asks you to describe yourself and add tags and things like that, and you're like, I just want to upload a video, man. Like, people don't always put a lot of thought into it, and they do it once, and because it wasn't a fun experience, they generally don't go back to do it again. I don't think anyone in their life has ever said, I get to write a profile today, yeah! And if you do, I have questions. But... and so I think that they look at it as a tedious thing, so they don't invest the time, and then they don't ever want to do it again, and I hardly blame them. I was the same way for forever. But the thing is then the channel evolves. And so, like, prior to 2013, my channel wasn't about cruising at all. It was about travel, but not cruising. So after 2013, it was a good idea for me to go in and add, Carnival Cruise Lines or other things, cruising, to my channel tags to match the videos that it was coming out in. And so the algorithm looks at the video, but I think it also pulls from the channel to see if there's a disconnect or if there's consistency. Because if there's consistency, either within a video, again, title, description, tags, spoken word, captions, etc., etc., but that also lines up with your channel name and your channel tags and the things you wrote in the About section of your channel. This is all data that the algorithm is just chewing on and comparing and collating. And so, hey, he talks about cruising a lot. Or, hey, this guy has vacation in his channel name. Vacation is a tag. He's got videos that have it in there. So when that video comes out, I think it increases the algorithm's confidence. And remember, I'm constantly trying to remind small YouTubers this. Your channel can come up in search as well. Remember, I searched Carnival Cruises, and the second result was a channel result. And I think that we are so focused on videos, and that's important, don't get me wrong, we often forget that our channel is something that comes up in search as well. Also, like in a Google search or a Yahoo search or whatever, Bing search you might be doing, it's not just your videos that are out there. Your channel itself is out there. And so those tags can be helpful. And it's interesting, using the TubeBuddy plugin, like I'll be watching like a Stephen Colbert clip, and I'll look at the tags out of curiosity, because I'm always wanting to learn and try to get better and understand this YouTube thing better. And every now and then they have tags, or like, Jimmy Kimmel or somebody else, like the video is like their monologue, and they're talking about, I don't know, Trump or something. But there's a tag that's like, Brad Pitt, because maybe Brad Pitt was a guest on that episode. But the video I'm watching right now doesn't mention Brad Pitt, doesn't have Brad Pitt. Why is he in the meta tag? That, interestingly, technically does kind of run afoul of YouTube's rules about misrepresentation. You shouldn't have something tagged that has nothing to do with the video. And so I find that interesting. And so that tells me whoever's doing the social media uploading on YouTube for Kimmel or whoever, maybe they don't understand that part of it. And so if I were trying to compete against them for some reason, either doing stand-up comedy or an interview show or something, that would be interesting, because that's adding some confusion. If the tags are all about politics and then there's Brad Pitt, then I think that reduces the algorithm's confidence. Now, those videos still get tons of views because they have fans like me who will seek them out. But they're not doing all the little technical things that they could be doing, which means there could be an opportunity for our small channels to get in there and try to get some audience share for ourselves. So yeah, that's that. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you came in late, again, 20 to 40 minutes after the broadcast is done, YouTube should make the video available for rewatching. You can watch again, see all the different steps I went through. Follow along at home, play the home game if you like. But thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Definite shout out to Elvis for helping me with the sound check. Great to see DJ Talks, Terrence Price, Naughty Reviews, all in chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. When I go live to do channel reviews or to answer questions or to do an unplanned tutorial, this was a planned one. I had one thing I was going to show you and I did it. I go to chat and it's the first person who speaks gets the first request in. So if you are subscribed to the channel, thank you, that's awesome, but also turn on notifications so you know when we go live. I don't always give as much notice as I would like to, and the earlier you're in chat, the earlier I'm going to get to your request, and maybe I'll be able to give you a channel review in the future. Don't forget to join Small YouTubers Boost, the Facebook group. We have over 101,000 small YouTubers in there, which blows my mind and humbles me every single day. I'm learning something from this group every day myself, and you can too. So join us there, facebook.com/groups/smallYoutubersBoost. Check the announcements, gets 20% off your TubeBuddy if you decide to get the paid version. And I'm thinking, and let me know in the comments, Frankie London, thanks for the thumbs up. Good to see you here. Let me know in the comments, I have an idea. I'm thinking about running a monthly competition where people can fill out a simple SurveyMonkey link, provide their channel name, link, and email, something like that. And then I'll choose one person every month and I'll do a tutorial like this, but it'll be all about their channel. And so it'll be like a 20-minute deep dive channel review, but that's it'll be focused. I'll go live for 22 minutes, just do their channel, just like I did this video. It won't be based on random chatness. I'm thinking of doing that as a monthly thing, as a contest in Small YouTubers Boost. Let me know in the comments if you think that would be something that you think would be a good idea, or if you have some suggestions about that. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, that way maybe it's a bit more bite-sized. People can go and watch it afterwards if they have a similar niche. So that's just something I'm thinking about. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Help other people find it, because that's how the algo works. Frankie says it's a good idea, so that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the Facebook group. This has been a blast. We'll see you next time.